All right, today we are diving into one of the most powerful and honestly surprising economic forces on the entire planet, the modern pet. It's an industry that seems to play by its own set of rules, and we're going to break down exactly why it's such an economic fortress.
Now that sounds pretty extreme, right? But it's the absolute key to understanding this multi-billion-dollar global industry. This one sentence, it really captures a deep economic truth that has turned the animal health sector into a stronghold, one that stands firm even when the rest of the economy is shaky.
So, that's the big question here. What is the secret sauce? What makes this industry so insulated from the kind of financial shocks that send other sectors into a tailspin? Well, the answer starts with a huge shift in how we even think about our pets.
Yeah, it all kicks off with this massive change in our relationship with animals. And believe me, this journey from the barnyard to the bedroom isn't just a cute social trend. It has some absolutely huge economic consequences. For most of history, an animal's value was all about what it could do. It was a tool, a resource. The health of a cow or a horse mattered because it was directly tied to a farm's bottom line. Their well-being was an agricultural issue, not really a household one.
And this right here, this is the heart of the whole thing. We've completely flipped the script from a utility-driven model to an emotional one. Pets aren't just kind of hanging around the house anymore. They are full-on integrated family members. And that shift, it transforms spending on them from a discretionary want into an essential, non-negotiable need.
And this has a name in economics. It's called inelastic demand. That really powerful emotional bond means that our willingness to pay for our pet's health, it isn't really based on the price tag, it's based on love. And it turns out that is an incredibly stable foundation to build an entire industry on.
Okay, so we've got this incredible emotional bond. How does that translate into a rock-solid business model? Well, it creates this protective moat around companies in the pet space, a moat that's built on fierce brand loyalty and some very, very unique market dynamics.
Let's make this real. To see how this works, we can just look at a company like Zoetis. As a huge player in animal health, it's a perfect example of how you build a commercial empire on this emotional foundation. And its success shows us a critical difference between the pet industry and, say, human pharmaceuticals.
See, in the world of human medicine, when a blockbuster drug's patent runs out, it hits what they call the patent cliff. Generic competitors flood the market, and for the original brand, the result is fast and it is brutal.
I mean, think about that for a second. A 90% collapse in revenue. Imagine your company's biggest product just vanishing overnight. That is the constant threat that human drug companies are always living with.
And this is the wild part, the animal health world, it plays by a totally different set of rules. That patent cliff, it's more like a gentle slope. And why is that? Because the trust between vets, pet owners, and specific products is so strong that these brands can hold on to a massive chunk of the market, even decades after a patent is gone.
So this amazing resilience really comes down to three key things. First, you've got pet owners who are so savvy now, they walk right into the vet's office and ask for drugs like Apoquel by name. Second, this intense brand loyalty gives these products incredibly long life cycles. And third, the companies have gotten really smart about focusing on chronic conditions, things like arthritis or skin allergies, which means lifetime treatment and, you guessed it, reliable, recurring revenue.
All right, so we have the emotional bond and we have the powerful business model. But what happens when the economy really gets put to the test? Well, this is where the pet industry proves it's a true all-weather performer.
You might have heard of something called the lipstick effect. It's this idea that when times get tough, people will still buy small, affordable luxuries to make themselves feel better. The pet economy has its own version of this, but with a major twist. Spending on our pet's health isn't a luxury. It's an emotional necessity that we just refuse to cut back on.
And look, the proof is in the pudding. During the 2008 financial crisis, the sector was steady as a rock. Fast forward to the 2020 pandemic, when industries like travel and retail were in absolute freefall, pet healthcare was a pillar of stability. The numbers just don't lie.
And this is the behavior that holds it all together. People will literally make sacrifices in their own lives. They'll cancel dinner plans. They'll put off buying something for themselves before they even think about compromising on the care their pet needs. It's a truly remarkable dynamic.
Okay, so we know the industry is stable. We get it. But here's the kicker. It's also perfectly positioned for continuous, long-term growth. And the driver for that is something we can call the longevity dividend.
It's this amazing self-fueling cycle. It just feeds itself. Think about it. Veterinary medicine gets better and better, so our pets are living longer than ever. And, just like with people, an aging pet population needs more ongoing medical care for chronic issues like arthritis or kidney disease. So every pet that lives longer creates this constantly expanding market with steady, recurring revenue for years.
And if you're wondering where the money is, well, here you go. The senior pet is hands down the most profitable part of the market. It's all driven by managing those lifelong conditions. Things like kidney failure or heart disease that need chronic meds, special food, and way more checkups with the vet.
So when you boil it all down, when you cut through all the market analysis and the financial jargon, you find one simple, unshakable truth at the very bottom. This entire economic marvel is built on the human-animal bond.
And that leaves us with one last kind of mind-blowing question to think about. In a world that is so full of economic uncertainty and volatility, is it possible that the deep, unconditional love we have for our pets is actually the most stable and predictable asset of them all?